Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another Kershaw discontinued video. And today we are going to take a look at a long since discontinued Kershaw knife that is kind of a gem, which I absolutely love. Just a classic design by Ken Onion, and that knife is Kershaw Boa. So let's go ahead and do this video, starting with the knife itself. Let's give you a good quick shot, look at the knife. So there it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and get a good quick look shot at that all the way around. There's the back of the knife. There it is. Really very nice. This is, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the knife as I move it around. This is the Kershaw Boa 1580. Straight blade. I don't have any serrated. I only have like one or two serrades in my collection. I just don't like serrated knives. It's either straight blade or nothing. So this is straight blade version. This knife is all aluminum scales. It is a spring-assisted knife. It does have a weak spring assist. I'm not quite sure if they designed it that way or if it's because my knife is just old and unused. But I'm going to guess they probably made it that way. Sort of a weak spring assist there. The blade itself is S60V, which is a steel. I don't think steel's around anymore. It used to be 440V, and then it became S60V, but you don't see it around as much. It's sort of a rare steel. They passed it up for better steels that are out there, like, I guess M390, that kind of blades like that, steels like that, So there you have it, the Kershaw Boa. Let's go ahead and get into the specs of this knife. Now, again, because this is an old knife, we don't have very many specs on it, but I did dig up some from Knife Center. So, yeah, this knife, the steel on it, once again, is S60V. The handle is 6061 T6 anodized aluminum scales. The blade length of this knife is 3.38. The closed length of this knife is 4 3/4 inches. The weight of this blade is 4.9 ounces. And it's made in the USA, and the knife is designed by Ken Onion. And as I have said before, if you were to buy a Kershaw knife about 15 years ago, the chance of you getting a Kershaw knife made by Ken Onion were way up there. That was pretty common because he was the premier designer for Kershaw between the year of 1998 until he left in 2010 to go join CRKT, but not before finishing off his 350 series for Zero Tolerance, which, as we know, is the parent company of Kershaw. So, yeah, so this is the 1580 Boa, and this is a really, really great classic knife. I'm going to go ahead and go over what I like about this knife. Okay, so this knife is actually DLC coated. I have my own reservations about DLC coating. You know, you either love it or you hate it. I mean, if it's just going to sit in a collection, which this knife is, I love DLC coating. But other than that, if you're actually going to use the knife, you know, the DLC coating will get scratched up, and, you know, it's not too attractive looking on your knife. So for using purposes, I think most people would prefer the non-DLC coated version of the knife. But, you know, you have to understand that DLC coating does have a purpose. It does protect the blade from rust. It's just that, you know, doesn't look good cosmetically once it's been well used. So let's take a look at this knife a little bit closer. These are the anodized T61606 aluminum scales. As you can see, they have dimples on there. I think the idea behind that is supposed to give you a better grip, and actually it does. But I don't think it's the dominant it's like a dominant grip on there. In other words, I don't feel like it's gonna not slip out of my hand. But you do get a better grip with it. What's great about this knife is that it is good whether you are left or right-handed, which I am. This has got a I don't know what kind of blade shape that is. It's sort of a recurve blade, I guess. Recurve blade style. It's certainly not a draw point blade, but it's a recurve blade style. And I've seen some pretty funky looking recurve blades, but this one's pretty classic if you look at it. A word about the dimples. I think that the dimple's supposed to be made to look like a snake, I guess. Kershaw Boa, I'm not sure, but that might be their intention. What's great about this knife, like I said, it does have a weak spring assist, but what's great about this knife is that it also has a lock on it. Check that out. Right there. So basically what the lock does is it prevents it from opening up in your pocket. So you slide this up and you can't press on the flipper all that much. You'd have to actually unlock it, and then, you'd be good to go again. This is a liner lock, not a frame lock. Okay, take a look at that. The knife also has a right-hand thumb stud that you can switch over to the other side if you're left-handed. So, and they've designed the knife that way. If you check it out, you can actually take the pocket clip and switch it over down here. You can't put it up here at the top, but you can definitely put it down here, and then you can unscrew, which is something you don't see Kershaw doing anymore, where they're making the knife sort of for a right-handed person and for a left-handed person. I think that's a shame because they should. But yeah, you can take the thumb stud here and screw it over onto the other side. Simply unscrew that and flip it over, and you got a left-handed piece. So that's kind of nice on it. This knife retailed back in the day for, I want to say, right around, I believe it was like $149.99. I would have to check on that. But yeah, the steel on it, it's not a, this is not a wimpy steel. This is S6DV. It's not, it's not exactly a super steel, but it's pretty close to it. So there you go right there. It's got a G10 backspacer on it. One of the things that I like about that is that the G10 almost goes all the way up to the top. I'm not one of these guys that's into these half backspacer knives, which unfortunately is like the way it is on the Spyderco Swishboy, one of my favorite all-time knives. They've got like that half backspacer. I like it either completely open or have the backspacer go all the way up to the top like it is on this one. One of the things about this knife that kind of threw me was the, got a little oil on there. Now, there you go. One of the things about this knife that kind of threw me was not only was the spring assist kind of weak on this piece, which is not something that's, don't get the knife thing, but, it's kind of a shocker, but also the fact that the flipper is a little bit too low. I mean, it feels kind of weird to be down here. It feels like this flipper piece here should be maybe up about this area up in here. I think it would be a little bit better, but they did put it down low. I don't know why they did that, but it just makes the grip, when you're operating the knife and opening it, you kind of have to slide your hand down a little bit just to open the blade. But, that's fine. That's a designer's choice. That was what Ken Onion decided to do. And, you don't question the designer. There's reasons for that. The jimping on this knife is pretty aggressive. I mean, you have jimping up here on the top of the blade. These days, I find that jimping is not anywhere near as aggressive as it used to be 10 or 15 years ago. They've decided to kind of temper those edges out and make them a little bit smoother. So, all right, so let's get into some size comparisons. We'll talk about the knife some more. So let's go ahead and put it up against the knife I was just talking about, my Spyderco Swishboy, right there. I'll move it over a little bit more into the camera. There you go. There you have it, right there. So Spyderco Swishboy, right about there. The only ZT I got in my collection right now, which is actually my favorite ZT, the ZT-0900. discontinued. This knife is one of my favorite knives. This knife, you can actually close this knife with a piece of paper. I've done it. It's ball bearing system in this knife is phenomenal for such a small knife. So ZT-0900. How about the Sebenza 21 with box elder burl? It's always the same knives you guys take, so I don't have anything that you'd be familiar with. Unfortunately, I'm concentrating all my collection on collecting Kershaws. I don't have very many user knives. Finally, how about the Numzon, which is always a favorite to look at. Kershaw Numzon right there. Sold 30 because I actually used the knife. So, Kershaw Numzon. So, there you have it, the Kershaw Boa. Now, the thing is, the Kershaw Boa, this is not the only version of the Kershaw Boa that they have. Now, as you know, I have been doing these series video, like in my last video, I wanted to bring out all my twin knives that were, you know, they had a big one and a small one. Now we're getting into where the collection is expanding, and I'm finding the same knife in different variations. So here we go. Here is the same knife, Kershaw Boa, in S30V. Now, look, if you look a little closer, I might be mistaken, I don't know, but the scales on the S30V knife are actually wider this way than it is on the S60V piece. I don't know if that's true. I mean, to my eye, it does look that way. I don't know. Maybe that's my own imagination. So this is the S60V. And then we also have the knife in the good old 440V steel. This is the Kershaw Boa multicolored. Check it out, man. Really wild looking, right? Real wild looking. There's one more, guys. One more. This one's kind of weird. This is just a simple little office knife. You've seen it, but it's also part of the series of Kershaw Boa. This is the Kershaw Baby Boa. Really tiny. Let me move these guys up so you can see all of them. There you go. So that's a baby boa right there. So there you go. So as you can see, so once again, this is Sandvik 14C28N. I have heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe that the first production run of these knives were 440A steel, and then they switched over to Sandvik 14C28N when they continued the series until it basically just got discontinued. So this is the Kershaw Boa in 440V. This is not such a rare knife to get a hold of, by the way. You can get a hold of this knife on eBay, on blade forums. It's all over the place. The one that's hard to get, believe it or not, is actually the S60V. That one's kind of hard to get a hold of, which I thought was quite odd. But yeah, it's hard to get a hold of that piece. Myself, I refer to these knives, specifically these two, as Batman and the Joker knife. I don't, you know, because it just seems that way. This kind of reminds me of the Joker with the multicolored, you know, pink and blues and black, and then you have this black knife. You know, reminds me kind of of Batman. Of course, the blade is also black, so kind of reminds me of Batman in a way. I don't know. It's just a weird thought, but that's what it reminds me of. So there you have it, the Kershaw Boa series. I didn't mean to boa you with details. Sorry, I know it's a bad joke, guys. Give me a break. I spent a lot of goddamn money on these things. But, yeah. This is the Kershaw Boa series, the entire Boa series. There's no other ones that they released. As far as I know, this is all they've released. But you can bet that if I'm wrong, I'm probably going to try and get that one too. You know, because once this collection completes, you know, am I going to stop collecting Kershaw? The answer to that question is yes, but it's going to have to be a knife where it stops at the knives that I don't want to get because I just don't like them. You know, that's basically what happens with these collections. So, all right, so there you have it, the Kershaw Boa. Okay, 1580 Boa series, all of them. pick which one you like and buy one. I don't know. It's a fantastic knife. I know it's a fantastic knife because I actually found one that was beat up, and I used it and opened it up for boxes, and then I sold it for a decent price. It wasn't that badly used, but I did use the knife, and I decided to get it back and put it in my collection. So there you have it, the Kershaw Boa series. Once again, Sandvik 14C28N. 440V steel, S60V steel, and S30V steel. So, all spring-assisted blades, all aluminum scales. Yeah. And you've got your pick of flavors there. So, there you have it, the Kershaw Boa. This is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off, hoping you'll find one of these pieces of sharp art in your collection. Word, I am getting a new knife tomorrow, and I'll be doing another video series, possibly tomorrow, if not, definitely this week, on that knife. And believe it or not, that knife is not a rare one, and yet I've had such a hard time getting it, and I finally got a hold of one, and a guy sold it to me for a reasonable price. So be on the lookout for that video. In the meantime, once again, this is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off. Hoping that, yeah, you'll find one of these pieces of sharp art in your collection. And have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless you.